So, how do you start? How do you start with your body of work? How do you start with your real authentic symbolism that's really going to help grow your brand and be authentic to yourself? Like, how does one start this whole process? Well, I want to talk a little bit about that today. I want to talk about your personal symbolism and really starting with elemental symbols, colors, shapes, form, bringing in who you are. But let's make it super simple. There's going to be a very simple way to do it. What I want to say is that just starting with the simple form of shapes, I have traveled all over the world back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I really would get to see, because all these countries weren't as open and we didn't have the internet back then. So it was really fascinating for me to be able to go into a country and really see symbolism on adornment. And that's what I began to study. But symbolism on adornment, like what the symbolism is all about, like what shape, what form do you feel, holding a shape in your hand, looking at a shape, like what does this shape make you feel? Really, there's some shapes that are about abundance. There's some shapes that are about, fertility. There's some shapes that are about bringing in luck. There's some shapes about love, and colors and all of this, which I always found so fascinating. For building your own body of work personally, you want to start with what type of shape is really exciting to you. And when I talk about really the fundamentals of shape, I want to say that, back in time, I just did these, talking about the triangle, the square, the circle, the heart, the spiral, the pyramid, all of these type of shapes, they really do have a feeling attached to them. If we're in adornment, if we're in jewelry, if we're in the art field, we really are in such an emotional field, where our customers are going to respond, our people are going to respond, our viewers are going to respond in an emotional way. So, if you find yourself, like at different times in my life, I have found myself when I needed balance in my life, oh my gosh, where I really need to be rooted and find balance, I found myself really drawn to the square shape, the triangle shape. They're so grounding. When you look at those, you feel rooted, you feel connected, and that's when, at different times in my life, I have been attracted to, specifically now, I've been attracted to this circle shape or this oval, a shape like that, or the spiral. It's all through all cultures and countries. This actually, if you close your eyes and you feel this circle, it's all about endless life. And I've seen that in everywhere, and if you close your eyes, feel it. Feel how the circle makes you feel. It's like completion. It's really like a success. It's like a holistic being connected. And I find myself really using, even if they're open circles, like really using this type of a shape in my work because I feel that in my life. Back when I was in my 20s, I loved the triangle shape. I was building a wholesale jewelry company that I really did well with. It was called Lenart Collection. But one of my very, very favorite shapes was the triangle, as pointy as the triangle could be. I would use this shape, and it really is. It's like I was moving, I was shaking, I was traveling, I was doing museum exhibits, I was doing wholesale shows, I was doing fashion, and it's like my life was speeded up, and it's like I'm wanted to manifest whatever I wanted to manifest. So I'd close my eyes and manifest, and that arrow shape really was like an arrow to me. It was almost like throwing a spear and an arrow out to my manifestations and bringing them closer to me. So that was really kind of fun. It's the pointiest I could make them, I would do it. So, like these contained angles, they really are this type of masculine energy, they say, like in interior design. This is when you've hard angles, that's that masculine type of a look. When you see a house that's decorated for a bachelor pad, you see a lot more angles like that. And then you go into these female shapes that are the hearts. It's like, I know I had two people in my life that left, and they were very important to me. And after they were gone, I carried hearts around with me. I built pieces out of hearts. Everything was hearts. I loved hearts. And, I'd always have two rock hearts in my pocket out of beautiful gemstones, a pink and a red. And I'd show up for business meetings with these hearts in there, and it just really comforted me and made me feel good. So why is it important to know all these different shapes? Like, close your eyes and feel what shape feels really good to you. And this is really where you want to start from. I know what I'm kind of starting from with my body of work. And, from these elemental styles, there, of course, is a takeoff, a shoot off from that. You're going to see in my work here, I'm using a lot of leaf shapes, petal shapes, stick shapes, so they're really like an oval, but transformed into these beautiful blossoming seeds. So as I can find the symbolism in my work right now, just with this very current work that's just starting to come from me, that is of leaves and flowers and buds. But it's interesting because if you look at all of these, I've been really exploring with the emotional value of, trying to express an emotion through each of these pieces. So think about if, I can build a flower here that is jagged and kind of like a weed. And, what is that meaning? And I can build a beautiful flower that really is open, one that's closed as a seed, one that is blooming, one that has blooms just coming out of it over and over again. So just in a flower form, there's so much symbolism that could represent so many different things. So, and in a stick, rough sticks, beach wash sticks, and when we're imitating them in silver or bronze or using the real object, it doesn't matter. We get the same feel. And this symbolism is all about when your viewers or yourself look at the piece over and over again, it brings back a particular emotion of, it reminds you, actually these flowers that are more of a bud flower, reminds me that I'm planting seeds, that I'm just starting, that I'm opening, I'm not even quite ready yet to open my bloom. And this is the studies that I did in Talisman all over the world, way back. And a talisman is actually just an object or a piece of jewelry or a wearable adornment that you wear to remind you of the emotion of what you're moving forward into. So the first thing that you want to do when you're really thinking about renewing your work, or you want to renew your work in any field, you want to go in and just scratch down a couple shapes in there. And actually, I really like using this, it's like a plus sign or a cross, but a plus sign. This plus sign to me is almost like the Red Cross, and thinking of this is help, this is safety, this is comfort. And it also was used back in time as a compass, north, south, east, and west. So it's really finding your direction. And I've used this in a lot of my branding on my membership and a couple other things. And it really makes me feel safe and secure, like I've found my way in my compass. So, the first way to start for you is to just close your eyes and or first of all, scratch out a couple symbols that just come to you. We really know all of our symbolism on the inside. We get them from our dreams. We get them from our waking life. If you look through your junk drawer right now, you would find pieces that you love that are really your talisman, or really your shapes or your colors. And you just kind of want to jot down these symbolism that just come to your mind, and then pick out one or two of your favorites. And then think about why they are your favorites. And here you're going to be able to have a starting point to move your work into. Number two, another really good direction to go is to really think of your colors. I know a lot of people have been in my membership, and I talk a lot about the whole chakra system and how this helps us as artists. I think now, oh my gosh, how did I not have this education in the past and have a business and have my artwork and have this company? It's so interesting, color and how it relates to people in the world and how it relates to yourself, and expressing yourself. So it's like, and just putting down some colors that you really love. Like I find right now, I'm in this light blue color that to me feels so good. And you see in my work, you see a lot of these tourmaline stones, which is the pinks and the greens, some amber colors, but mostly it's these pinks and greens that I'm so interested in. And these are actually the heart openers. When in the chakra system on the body, these are the heart openers. So, but it also, it's a heart opener. So it's like my work I'm finding a lot of this circle shapes and some triangle shapes because I'm getting ready to start moving, but the floral shapes and pieces like that. And my colors. So I'm taking note, like, what are these colors I'm using? So number 2 is really close your eyes and think about what colors are so important to you in your work, whether you're a painter, a jeweler. It will actually, when you gather this information, and there's a couple more elements to this, but when you start gathering this information, it makes it so easy for you to tell your story. It really triggers inside of you what you're working towards, what your story is, what your whole brand is about. It really helps you get to the core holistically of building your own brand, your own company, so your work can sell, and you to give yourself a name and a title and all of that really fits. So, there's also like elements within the shapes and elements within the color. So shape, materials that you're using, silver, gold, bronze, fine silver, they all are these different colors too, and elements of strength that you want in your work. So, whether you're putting color in there, enamels, any of this. So those are a couple elements that I wanted to start off just really touching on today. And so think about those 2 that you're putting into your work. So the importance of your symbolism in your work is that when you are working with your true colors that really can express yourself, when you're working with your true symbolism, when you're working with your real work outside of just building for the fun of it, or building for someone else, or building because there's an order that you have to fill. When you really, really work with your symbols and your colors and your shapes and your forms and your techniques and all of that together, you really find alignment. And you find that you really can walk into your studio and be in this great creative space and get through these creative blocks that we all sometimes have. Really, when there is a creative block, it's just getting back to your real work and who you are as a person and doing things that make you feel joy. When you're doing your real creative work, you will feel such joy and you'll be so excited about getting into your studio. And that's really what being a creator is all about. There's only 2 frames of mind to be in, and one of them is creation in the creative state of mind, which is that really beautiful, open, creative space that just brings you happiness, and you automatically do the work that's beautiful for you and have people drawn to you. And that's why I do so much work in my membership, really helping myself and other people to get into this place and stay in this place. Oh my gosh, this is what it's all about. The other frame of mind is survival, and survival is that kind of, day-to-day brain that brings up all your fear, that brings up, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't sell? What if I'm not good enough? What if this? What if that? Oh my gosh, that stops you and slows you down and literally puts that creative block up there. So this is what we really want to do, is to break through that creative block, get into this higher consciousness of creativity. We owe it to ourselves and we owe it to the world as creators. Isn't that a pretty cool thought? Like, if you're going to be a creator, do your real work because it's important. Your work is important. We're all such individuals, and your work is very important to the world. How about that? Just repeat that to yourself quite a few times. And me too. We all are here and we're drawn to do our own work for a specific reason. So those are a couple tips that I wanted to give you just to start, really thinking about your work. And I'm doing a lot of work myself with building a full, strong, powerful body of work, really diving into this right brain. And I am writing a course that I'll start in February online on building your body of work. So if you're interested in anything like that, you can pop on my wait list, and you'll hear out, or my wait list, just to hear a little bit more information. You can find it up in my profile. I have a few things going on in there. So check it out, though. It's really fun. I have a beautiful community here of people, and we really work to stay in this higher consciousness so we can build our real work. So I hope to see you there. Bye.